one of the guys who was coming up through the field and was getting quite a large amount of airtime over the course of that second half of the race.
Is it time? Is it time for the propaganda machine to cash in?
Yes, it is time. Hit the button. Yes. Yeah, this is the moment I don't know whether it was a good or a bad thing that Lee Diffie said on commentary as the race was going down. Jimmie Johnson is in the top 10. It's the first time he's been able to say that since he got to IndyCar. And I'm like, oh no. But Jimmie Johnson, 6th place in his first oval race.
On IndyCar. Pace alone.
On pace alone, no shenanigans, all thrills. And, I mean, Chris, what did you make of it all watching it? Because, I mean, how could you not root for Jimmy going up the field like that towards the end?
I was hoping, so my expectations for Jimmie Johnson were, I've heard that he's turned something like 11,000 laps at Texas.
It's crazy.
Yeah, so he knows his way around the place. I was figuring, okay, let's go for top half of the field here. Let's see 13th and up, all right? And then when he got to like 11th place, I'm like, maybe a top 10 is actually, on the cards here. And then he gets to like 9th place, and I'm like, I wonder if he can get 6th or 7th to get in the top quarter of the field. And then all of a sudden, I have the lap chart in front of me here. He gets to 5th place on lap 234, going around Simon Pagenaud, and I'm like, what? That just happened here, and then Pagenaud got him around him on 235, but then Johnson got him on 236. And in the interviews on pit road after the race, he said that there was a telemetry issue. The team and him did not know how much fuel he had saved, and so in a panic, he went to a lower fuel map, and Scott Dixon got by him on lap 246, and Johnson would finish 6th after running the last 3 laps in 6th place. A couple of stats on Jimmie Johnson. He made 21 passes, 17 of those for position. I believe 7 of those were in the top 10, and 2 of those were in the top 5. Jimmie Johnson ran well, and it was all about him getting comfortable with the car. As the tires wore off and the fuel burned down, his car was, sliding a little bit on the used rubber, and it really made him understand how he could actually drive the car in the corners. And I'll just say it right now, it might help him on road and street courses now that he knows how that car will handle at higher speeds. Now, I'm not going to go as far as Jeff Gluck did and say he might win the Indy 500 because there's a whole lot that goes into that. Ask J.R. Hildebrand. But I think he has a legitimate shot at getting a top 10 in the Indy 500 next month, assuming, of course, that he makes the race.
It's like, RJ, what do you reckon, RJ?
Just to add to something that Chris said, yeah, he ran solidly in the top 10. There was a lot of attrition in this race early on, but to his credit, he did not become the attrition. I believe he might have even dodged a wreck here or there.
Two of them.
He dodged 2 wrecks, which obviously goes a long way in helping. And once he got towards the front, this is the Jimmie Johnson that they've been advertising since he got here. This is the Jimmie Johnson that we were hoping to see. He finished ahead of your reigning series champion, Alex Palou. I don't think in the same equipment, I don't think I need to... Look, there's obviously a lot that goes into that, but that was a good performance, and I'm not going out of my way to pick him for the Indianapolis 500, but it wouldn't surprise me if he is in the mix by the end of the race. If he does end up winning it, oh my God. God, could you imagine?
Oh, Lord. I wouldn't be surprised if he just retired on the spot if he won the 500.
We're done here. We're not stopping this.
Spot. There are 2 scenarios where he retires on the spot. He misses the 500 or he wins the 500.
If he wins, he'll pull a Sam Hanks.
I haven't got much to add on all this besides Who wasn't rooting for Jimmie on that one? I mean, it's easy to forget, despite all of this in his NASCAR. The man is 46 years old. Okay, he is 46 years old. This is only his 17th IndyCar race or 18th IndyCar race or something along those lines, and first time on an oval. And again, like, he looked like he'd been doing this for years. Well, he has, but just not in that type of car. But these were not scrubs he was passing. This was, like I said, it was Alex Palou and Simon Pagenaud, who's won everything you can win in this series.
It's one thing if you're like racing wheel to wheel with like Dalton Kellett.
Yeah.
No offense to Dalton Kellett, who seems like a very nice guy.
Yes.
But
he is.
You're passing Palou and Pagenaud. This is a whole step up.
There was a great scene at the end of the race where he and Scott Dixon are just talking it up at the end after the race had finished, and you look at it and you go, those are probably America's two best racing drivers of the 21st century right there. Just talking it out after having a fight at 230 miles an hour around an oval. One not being a surprise at all, and the other one, would you have guessed that 2 years ago that Jimmie Johnson would be racing Scott Dixon on an oval in IndyCar?
No.
Both of them over the age of 40. I mean, that's just it was awesome. It was wonderful, and it's if you're an IndyCar fan, you have to be rooting for Jimmie here. Like, it is a win-win for everybody if Jimmie is good, right? And he was great here, and I'm with Chris. I think top 10 is doable. Like I said, if he leads a handful of laps, if he's in a leading group during the 500, there's going to be a lot of eyeballs on it, and that would be a huge dub for IndyCar if that was to happen. And yeah, like, that is our next oval race. You know, we got to get to May. It's going to be a long process, and of course, there is no guarantees he makes that race. We've seen how ruthless bump they can be, and has been in recent years, and I'm sure 2022 will be no exception. But that was fun, and that was fun.
That was wholesome, and just really great to see a relatively inexperienced IndyCar driver thrive in their first super speedway oval